Om. समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Okay, coming to the fourth verse now. I'll read. निश्चयं शृणु मे तत्र त्यागे भरतसत्तम त्यागो हि पुरुषव्याघ्र त्रिविधः सम्प्रकीर्तितः. It says, hear from me the conclusion or the final truth about this abandonment. O best of the Bharatas, verily abandonment, O best of men, has been declared to be of three kinds. Now, over here, he is explaining to Arjun now scientifically, because Arjun is a man of the world and he is not going to understand philosophy as such. So he tries to give scientific explanations. He never loses track of the scientific explanation, because the person he is talking to is a skeptic. He doubts everything Krishna says. Like people like us, that oh ye likha hai Geeta mein, mane nahi mane, sach hai ya nahi hai, this kind of thing we do. So he explains scientifically and proves to you everything by examples also what is true. So he says that hear from me. See, till now he was quoting sages. Now he is declaring himself. He says that abhi tak to I was giving others' opinions. Now I'm giving my own. I am saying it to listen from me. Now Krishna is an authority. Arjun knew that he is not an ordinary sort of a guy. That he knew. But that he is the Lord himself. That of course he saw the Virat Roop, and since then Arjun still has mellowed down a lot to try and understand what Krishna is saying. So he says, hear from me the conclusion or the final truth about this abandonment. He calls it the final truth. That means this is authority speaking. That after this, nothing anymore. So what is it? O best of Bharatas. Bharata Saptama means Bharat clan में जो उत्तम है. This is a sandhi of two words, उत्तम and Bharata. तो Bharata Saptama means जो आपके क्लैन में सबसे बेस्ट मैन है. भरत सप्तम त्यागो ही पुरुष व्याघ्र. पुरुष व्याघ्र. Also, what does Purusha Vyagra? Vyagra is share. Like you say, oh tiger among men. When you say, oh tiger among men, तो उसको कहेंगे भरत श्रेष्ठ. And he says, oh best of Bharatas, verily abandonment, O best of men, has been declared to be of three kinds. Now he begins the exposition. This verse is only exposing that there are three kinds of abandonment, three kinds of त्याग. देखिए त्याग तो सब कुछ हो सकता है. Think about it. Somebody can give up good deeds to become a murderer. He says, मैंने अच्छे कर्मों का त्याग कर दिया. That is also त्याग. He calls it त्याग. Okay? Now what kind of त्याग is that? Think about it. I'm just giving you examples first to tell you. Okay? Even that people say, मैंने त्याग दिया. Okay? Now giving up something bad to do good deeds is also त्याग. Now there are two different kinds of people doing tyag. There is another third kind of person who does the tyag of his comfort and leisure to do something, but for a return. So he says, I have given up my leisure, I have given up my time, I have given up money, I have given effort to do this task. So he has given up so many things to complete a task which will give him returns. Now he calls that a त्याग. मैंने अपनी नींद छोड़ दी ये काम करने के लिए, है ना? मैंने अपना फ्री टाइम दे दिया, मैंने पैसा दे दिया, मैंने ये दे दिया, so that this work is completed. He is looking for a result. He is looking for a return. That is also tyag. He calls it tyag. He's given up his sleep. He's given up his comfort, right? So what kind of tyag, what is exactly tyag? Now here the Lord is saying that the tyag is of three kinds. Now Arjun has curiosity because he wants to know that if I take up tyag, then what should I be doing? मैं कौन सा त्याग करूंगा, कैसा त्याग करूंगा, हाँ? And he is saying over here that there are three kinds of त्याग, and the Geeta Acharya is saying that जैसे कि गीता में और जगह you have been seeing all the three kinds, sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. So the Geeta Acharya is trying to say that these are the three kinds, because the next verse explains exactly that. From there you get on to there. जो आगे के verses हैं, they explain that only. What are the three kinds of त्याग? They are sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. So these three. Though here Gurudev has written that Ramanuja, who is also Ramanuja is a very big interpreter of the Gita also, huh? But his interpretation is a different kind of interpretation, right? So his interpretation is what Gurudev has given that interpretation. One is the abandonment of fruit, phal ka tyag. That means you do the action, but if you renounce the fruit, then that is the one kind of tyag. The other kind of tyag is abandonment of the idea that the self is an agent, therefore giving up all attachments. That means nothing belongs to me. Okay? So nothing is mine. You were never born with anything, you never brought anything with you. And you cannot also take anything with you, isn't it? तो आपको अटैचमेंट क्या हो रहा है, किस चीज से हो रहा है? Something that doesn't belong to you, that never belonged to you, and you are saying it's mine. When you abandon that idea of agency, then that is the second kind of tyag. Third kind of tyag, he says, is the actor sense. That means the kartritva bhav. Kartritva bhav, the doership. Giving up the sense of doership, that I don't do anything. It is he who does, and whatever he does will happen. I am not the doer. I just do his will. Now that when you give up that idea of doership, that is the third kind of tyag. But Gurudev tries to say that this is the interpretation of Ramanujacharya. It is not there in the Gita. The Gita talks of, because the verses that are going to come now, they talk of the sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. So those are the three types. Ramanuja has given his own interpretation. You can see that interpretation for whatever it is worth. You can even interpret it that way if you like. But Gurudev does not agree with that. He says that go by what the Gita says. And what the Gita says is what Krishna said. So Krishna is classifying tyag into sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. Okay, now come to the next verse. यज्ञदान तप कर्म न त्याज्यं कार्यमेव तत् यज्ञोदानं तपश्चैव पावनानि मनीषिणाम्. He says acts of sacrifice, charity and austerity should not be abandoned. Now see, this is a kind of a diktat from the Lord. It's a diktat. Huh? So think of that. He doesn't say कि सब कर्म का त्याग कर दो. जैसे कुछ लोग कहते हैं ना कि सब कुछ करना छोड़ दो, सन्यासी को कुछ भी नहीं करना चाहिए. is not that. He says acts of sacrifice, charity, and austerity. Austerity is tapa. Should not be abandoned, but should be performed. देखो दोनों तरफ से कहा है, negative and positive. Just like in the courts, they make you say ना, मैं सच बोलूंगा, सच के अलावा कुछ नहीं बोलूंगा. You asked to take an oath. मैं सच बोलूंगा is a positive statement. सच के अलावा कुछ नहीं बोलूंगा, negative statement. So they cover it both ways. So here Krishna is doing the same thing. He is saying that they should not be abandoned but should be performed. Worship, charity, and austerity are the purifiers of the wise. Now, एक बात ये देखो. Why does he limit them to the wise only? He is clearly said that these acts should be done, and they are the purifiers of the wise. That means if you are not wise, then even if you are doing yagya tap and yagya tap or kya naam, yagya dan and tap, they will not purify you. Why? Because when you perform an act, the mental intention with which you are performing that act, the mental climate, bhav, with which you are performing that act will determine how pure your mind becomes after that. If you're doing a yagya, havan, tap, jap, jo kuch bhi, but without any faith in it, mechanically you're doing it, mujhe to karna hai, then that will not purify you. It will not purify you. When he says pavanani manishanam, तो मनीष कौन होता है? Manish is a manansheel purush, manansheel person, one who's a deep thinker, one who's a contemplator, one who dives deep inside him and tries to figure out the truth. He is called a manansheel purush. He is also called manisha. Manisha means the wise, a person who has a proper mind, जिसके दिमाग है. हाँ, तो उसको वो पवित्र करता है, वो ज्ञान उनको पवित्र करता है. Now say Krishna is saying this. He is saying this, that this is, in my opinion, in the next verse also Krishna says that these that I'm telling you now are my opinion and you must act on those. So acts of sacrifice. See, अच्छा दूसरा ये है कि some people say I have the bhav but I can't do the action. उससे काम नहीं चलता, उससे काम नहीं चलता. The bhav has to be along with the karma, the action, and the faith in that action, the faith of purification in that action has to be there for the act to purify your mind. Otherwise, it will never get purified if you do it just mechanically without faith. So both the things are necessary, very, very, very. He says, देखो, वो ये कहते हैं कि they should be performed, and worship, charity, austerity are the purifiers of the wise. That is why he says wise. Because only a manansheel person, a person who thinks deeply or who dives deep into the meaning of things, who is very conscious of the faith he has in the action he is doing, even only that person will be purified. Charity to bahut log karte hain. You write a check and throw it in the face of the person who you're giving. It will not purify you. Your action will go waste. When you give, you have to give with a lot of feeling, and you have to give with a lot of love. You have to give with a lot of faith and respect. Giving with respect makes it sattvic. If you give without respect, like you give to a beggar, then That becomes a tamasic dan. So don't even give without respect to a beggar. If you're giving to a beggar, have the faith in giving कि नहीं मैं इसको दे रहा हूं डेफिनेटली टू हेल्प हिम. बट इफ यू गिव इट थिंकिंग कि भाई पता नहीं क्या इसकी ड्रग खाएगा क्या करेगा, गॉड नोज व्हाट ही इज गोइंग टू डू विद इट, ही इज अ प्रोफेशनल बेगर. And you, there are professional beggars, yes there are. On crossroads you see them, and you see them daily for years along, the same beggar, and he will act as though he is lame, and he'll also have crutches on him, and as soon as the light turns green he is walking okay. So but you have already given to him and you feel cheated, right? You feel tricked, you feel cheated. Now then see, so even the dan given, all the three, yajna, dan, tapa, all these three deeds must be done, but they should be done with a lot of bhav, a lot of faith, and that will purify you. Because if you have those tendencies in you to rise, to perfect yourself, to be somebody divine, only then it will purify you. You are doing it for your own evolution. Doing a good deed so that your mind is purified. So then that is one kind of deed, right? So जब आप फल को देखते हैं, ये नेक्स्ट वर्स पे आइए, एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि संग त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्. Mat Uttamam. This is my opinion, says Krishna, and it is a very, very good opinion. Mat Uttamam. Now say, ये मेरा मत है और उत्तम मत है. He says, that means ये संग त्यक्वा फलाने च, फल की ताक झांक नहीं करें. Don't always look for what you will get by doing dan, tapa, or even tapa, even yajna. आप कोई भी ऑस्टेरिटी करते हैं, कोई भी जप करते हैं, तप करते हैं, दान करते हैं, डोंट लुक फॉर व्हाट यू विल गेट, नॉट इवन पुण्य. दैट ऑल्सो यू आस्किंग कि इसको करने से मुझे पुण्य मिलेगा, ठीक है ना? तो ये नहीं. तो देखिए ऐसा है कि इसमें त्यक्त्वा लिखा है, मतलब गिव अप. तो ये एक उपनिषद में है ना, तेन त्यक्तेन भुंजी था. तेन त्यक्तेन भुंजिता means what? कि by giving up you can enjoy. By giving up you enjoy. Have you experienced that? You must have experienced it. Many times when you feel दें कि नहीं दें, दें कि नहीं दें, and you decide to give it off, and you give away whatever you were supposed to give, even if you value that thing a lot, and you give it away, don't you feel good? You suddenly feel light. You suddenly feel so happy that you could do that and you were not clinging on to that thing, isn't it? So that is tena tyaktena bhunjita. That means after giving up or giving away, you get joy. Dekho, ye, you will say, how can that be? Most of the people, materialistic people, argue that it is only by getting that you get happiness, not by giving. But believe me, it is true. I'm telling you from my life's experience. The more you give, the happier you will get. The more you give love, the more you give of objects, the more you give of anything, you are going to feel happy. Even giving away pride, giving away anger, dropping the knots in your mind, aren't you happier? You are. That is also tyag. And that will purify your mind. तो देखिए एग्जाम्पल देते हैं that when the doctor tells you that if you want to be healthy, then you have to give up eating this, 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 this. Doesn't he tell you? So what do? If you want to be healthy, you give up those things. Same way here also, that if you want to be happy, there it is being healthy. The doctor is telling you to give up. Here it is being happy, that you give up this, and you will be happy. It's the same kind of thing, because that is at a gross level, this is at a subtle level. The Lord is advising you on a subtle level. So देखिए, इसमें आप अभिमान छोड़ दीजिए, यज्ञ दान तप में अभिमान छोड़ दीजिए. दान में अभिमान लोगों को होता है, बिना बताए उनके चलता नहीं. They have to tell, I gave so much to this one, I gave so much to that one. They must tell, है ना. अपने यहाँ गुप्त दान की भी रीत है. That means anonymous giving. There are many people who don't want their name also announced. They don't want their name written. They don't want their name to be known by anybody that who has given this money. Because when you give a name, it increases your ego. Definitely it does. Definitely it does. It brings to your own mind that, oh, I have donated this much. I have given this much. So that you must, give up. तो ये जो है अभिमान जो है, another अभिमान is ज्ञान का अभिमान, which is even subtler than दान का अभिमान. ज्ञान का अभिमान, that happens to most of the teachers in any field, not only Vedanta, in any field. I know so much, I know this much, my students don't know anything. I am the one who's giving out the knowledge to my students. See, Gurudev used to say that to keep that abhiman in check, understand that you are not telling anybody, you are telling yourself. You are educating, in his words, you are educating your own animal mind. And believe me, that is the best way for satsang. Anybody who's giving out a talk, anybody who's teaching should always remember that whatever you are saying is loud manan. It is your own manan. And try to judge yourself on those parameters, that where have you reached. So you are giving out that talk to your own self. It is a manan, it is a sadhana. It's not teaching anybody. किसी का फायदा होता है तो very good. If somebody benefits from it, very good. You have benefited, fine. Do that. But the thing is that आप उस intention से नहीं कर रहे हैं कि दूसरा benefit कर रहा है. Okay. नहीं तो अभिमान आपको जरूर होगा. So the same thing goes with yajna. That is any kind of sacrifices, any kind of inputs that you make for the benefit of society. अगर आप अभिमान के संग करेंगे, you will not achieve the purity of mind that is desired over here. इसका translation है, but even these actions should be performed leaving aside attachment and the fruits. दोनों चीजें कही हैं. च है ना इसमें वर्ड, wait a minute. हाँ, फलानी च संगम त्यक्त्वा फलानी च. Ch means and. So over here, you have to leave aside attachment as well as the fruit. The desire for the fruit, leave, and also what? Attachment. Why does one get attached? Tell me. To what does one get attached? One is not attached to the neighbor's car, right? But your own new car, a little bit of dent in that new car. Really, the dent is on you. That much of sorrow. Why? Because of attachment of me and mine. Attachment only means me and mine. You will never be attached to somebody else's things. You will be attached to your, wherever the thought of me and my comes, even in relationships. My husband, my wife, my child, my son, my daughter, my granddaughter. This my word will bring in the attachment. So, attachment, understand, do them as a duty, do them as kartavya. This verse says, na kartavyani. ये देखो, एतन्यपितु कर्माणि संग त्यक्त्वा फल. ये गीता में इतनी बार फ्रेज आता है, संग त्यक्त्वा. That means give up attachment. Give up attachment again and again. Because attachment and sorrow are equal and opposite. The amount of attachment you have will bring you that much of sorrow. This is a mantra. Please remember. Gurudev ka mantra hai that as much attachment you have, in the same proportion, it has the capacity to give you sorrow. So why hang on to something that can give you sorrow? Hang on to it physically, but mentally no attachment. Underline no attachment. This is the mantra of the Geeta all through. Sangam tyaktva, bar. It says. So, but even these actions should be performed, leaving aside attachment and the fruit. Fruit ko chhodna ka matlab, not, as I had explained earlier also, not gross, but mentally. Nobody is asking you to give up the fruit. It is attachment or anxiety for the fruit. Because what happens is that the anxiety of the fruit is, Gurudev says, is like a poison working anxiety in your body and mind. If you have anxiety in your mind about the result of an action, you can never perform the action correctly. It's a psychological fact. That is why, see, a doctor is not allowed to operate on his own family member. Why? Sang. This is my child. I am ripping open his abdomen. His hand will shake. He cannot perform the operation correctly. So some other doctor performs the operation on this doctor's son, because he will do it objectively. What does it prove to you? A judge cannot take a case if his relative is the pleader, or if his relative is has filed a case. He transfers it to some other judge because woi attachment, the judgment will be wrong. Please understand this very carefully. If you have attachment that they cannot purify you, the action cannot uplift you spiritually, because with attachment your mind is filled with the poison of anxiety. It is unintelligent, it is self-destructive, it ruins your action completely. It gives a very low quality to your action because your mind is full of anxiety. So you've got to give up attachment, and attachment to also to the fruit of the action. And here Krishna is saying that this is my personal opinion. Look, he says this is my certain and best belief. Aha. So if you don't even listen to a teacher like Krishna, then God help you. Krishna is saying this. Understand, Krishna is not a person like you and me. Krishna is not you and me. Krishna is the Lord himself. So here आप ये सोच के देखो कि क्या वो कह रहे हैं कि this is my certain and best belief. निश्चितम मतम उत्तमम. सोचो, निश्चित I am determined that this is true. He is vouchsafing that this is true. What more do you want? What more do you want? Think about it. Hmm? So here it is this that me matam, he says, so there is this thing of selfless action which is advised by Krishna, and not only in the Gita, in all the Hindu scriptures, selfless action is elevated to the height of a very purifying action. That is from where your karma yoga comes. Any action that is selfless will be minus anxiety. It will be minus anxiety for the fruit of action and minus anxiety for everything. So, देखो, even tapas or meditation should be without anxiety. Without anxiety. Tapas and meditation. Even in meditation, people have anxiety. So they cannot meditate. They keep on saying, when will a true samadhi come to me? When will I be able to make my mind stable? When will I? And they go on trying hard, and the more they try, the more the mind runs away because there is anxiety in the mind. You have to drop all anxiety. Just be yourself. Just be, as Gurudev used to say, just be. Not be this or that or that. When we are sitting for meditation, we are something. We call ourselves, I am this, I am that. हाँ कुछ भी नहीं है आप. And go with this feeling that you are nothing, you are nobody, you are not related to anybody, you are not the body, you have a body. So think of all those things. Attachment will always cause pain in equal proportion, as I have just said. So why have it? See, don't you drop anything that will cause pain to you. Anything that will cause pain to you or hurt to you, you immediately drop it, right? करते हो या नहीं? तो then, अच्छा, just keep doing it without any attachment as your duty. This is the healthy way and a healthy inner equipment you will get, and it will guide you, tenderly guide us into the peaks of supermanhood, says Gurudev. I am reading from the book. Supermanhood, he says. You become what? Not the miserable, petty, selfish, mean, crooked person that we are today. We rise to very elevated heights. We rise to very pure mind. And the purer your mind, the lesser the sorrow in the mind. Agitations are translated as sin. The more agitated your mind is, the more sinful your mind is, impure your mind is. The happy your mind is, have you seen some people are always very cheerful, always laughing, very cheerful, never sorrowful. Many of these swamis in our mission are like that. They're always laughing, talking, very happy, and you wonder how can they be so light-hearted? They are light-hearted because of this Sangam Tyaktva. So that is the true sannyas. So this spirit of tyaga, if you do not have these, then it will become a very low grade tapas, a low grade sadhana, a low grade dan. It will become tamasik. So never, never go for that. Chaliye, we stop here, and the next verse we do next time. ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शांति शांति हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम